Melissa, as I'm watching the rain come down on Galat there, I'm also keeping an eye on that temperature bug, because this is the balancing act now, right? As you're watching the temperatures and wondering what happens with all this moisture as we have even the slightest fluctuation in a temperature.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of those sleet pellets that are mixing in on the northeast side of the metro, and you saw the sleet in Gainesville and also out in Helen, getting that mixture from Angelina. I want to talk about how much freezing rain we've had and then what is happening with the second wave moving in. Here's some of the totals, some of the biggest totals up near White County, near Blood Mountain, Cleveland, Georgia as well. We've had a lot of half-inch ice totals. Athens, about 1/3 of an inch. Jefferson, Georgia, out in Jackson County, about 4/10 of an inch of rain. And even in kind of Cherokee and Pickens County, we had some totals there, about 1/4 of an inch. So the biggest impacts from that is that it's weighing down the trees and making them susceptible as we bring in a new wave of gusty winds later on. But that moisture is trudging east, so we're seeing the leading edge of it now past Atlanta in those eastern counties. So it's just about to Athens, and I want to show you the temperatures here. 26 in Athens, 29 Gainesville. We're still at freezing in Canton. So this whole kind of northeast corridor, you might warm up as it comes in by a couple of degrees, but I do expect you to stay below freezing. So what is falling is either sleet or it's freezing rain. What is falling in Atlanta and points south and west, that's going to be rain, okay? That's going to be just rain. If you get some ice pellets initially, well, that's probably already done at this point. So again, leading edge of that through Gwinnett County, moving out in towards Commerce, Georgia as well. Let me move this radar a little bit further to the east. You can see pretty much a steady area where we're dealing with that wintry mix. It's not pure freezing rain. It's going to start as a mix. It's tapping into that colder air. So there might be some ice pellets, maybe a couple of flakes that mix in places like Toccoa, but then it's going to transition to freezing rain. And there's a discussion out right now from the Weather Prediction Center that heavy freezing rain could unfold the next several hours this afternoon. So even in Gainesville and in Helen, where we're getting a mixture at the moment, I expect that transition to just freezing rain. And that's going to, again, add another layer of ice on the trees, on the power lines, all before we see that those winds pick up later today. So down to the south, I just want to show you where we're transitioning from freezing rain to rain. That's just about in Atlanta. We're still getting a little bit of that mixing happening in McDonough and Henry County. Look at the south, though. Pike-Lamar County, this is actually a heavy convective shower moving in. And in southwest Georgia at the same time with our ice storm, there's a tornado watch. So a lot of different layers of this storm, or of this onion that we're unfolding in Danielle. As this rain clears out, wind gusts will be the next concern for those ice accumulations.
Exactly, and we are starting to really see the impacts on the roadways as well, especially when you're talking about the winds. You can definitely blow over some tree limbs, and we've heard of numerous reports of trees down as well. This is a look into Gwinnett County. This is I-85 at the 985 split. You can see that the roads are treacherous. In fact, they just put out, GDOT actually said that this bridge that goes right there over the split is iced over. So definitely want to make sure that if you do need to travel, that it is really on emergency basis. Here is another look into Habersham County. Once again, this is right near Angelina, not too far over, just one county next door. This is definitely showing that rainfall is still falling. You can see that there's a light glaze on our camera here, and people are traveling on the roads, but it is definitely very, very slick. And a look into Forsyth, you can see the tire tracks there, right there at this intersection right here at Highway 9. Here's another look into the airport. Visibility is getting a little bit better, but like Melissa said, the wind gusts are going to continue to be a problem overnight tonight and as you prepare for your Monday. In fact, I think this is a great time to talk about downed power line safety. We've been seeing a number of them really reported as those winds really pick up. It's very important to stay 30 feet away from those down power lines. You never want to get too close to them, because that could definitely cause a very, very high risk, because some of them could still be live. So you never know. Even though it's laying in the street, you definitely could be seeing some live power lines on the ground there. So never attempt to move them. You can kind of see the spark there on that graphic. Just make sure you stay away. Go ahead and call the power company, call 311, tell them, hey, this is what's going on. You don't want to touch them, because as those winds continue to get gusty, we are expecting more trees to fall down. And we've heard, in fact, Cherokee County, their emergency manager said over the last 20 minutes, they've heard a lot. Their calls for trees down have escalated. So that's just here in Metro Atlanta. So ladies, we are continuing to watch this system. And even though the freezing rain threat is over for some, it's not over for all. And those of us that are done, we are still kind of in the thick of it because we're going to wait for those temperatures to drop as well as those trees that could be on the brink of falling over as well.